Hey students, I wanted to spend another day on yesterday's lesson just so we get extra practice in. I think these are pretty important concepts, especially mathematically. But again, we're still going to be learning about volume of a prism of a complicated base. But this time we're going to do that next learning activity or that next activity with the prism with the house. I know I cut it off from yesterday, but I think today would be a good day to kind of do the second part and break it up. Okay, so here's our situation. So what we got going on is looks like we have a house-shaped prism is created by attaching a triangular prism and a rectangular prism. So first thing we need to understand that there's a triangular prism, which looks something up here, right? And then you have a rectangle prism, which is something down here. Okay, do you see that? You have the triangle up, and then you have the rectangle below that, right? It looks like it's shooting at us or shooting at you, right? So we need to find the base of this prism, meaning the base area, and we need to find the height to get the volume. So in the end, we're trying to get a volume here, all right? And the first thing we should do is we need to understand that, okay, for a prism, I need some kind of base where the top and the bottom make the same face, right? So looking at this image over here, I can see that, well, I kind of have that face right over here, right? This is kind of that face. And then here would be the back of it. This back side right here would be the back of it. So this is the back. And then for the triangle, it looks like we have the face right here. And it goes all the way back, right? All the way back with this triangle part. So this is the back for that triangular prism. So if we were to look at it, right, I can move that upwards and I can think, okay, well, what could be a height of this? So if I was trying to find the height, well, the height isn't 7. The height is not 7, right? It's not going to be 7. It's not going to be 11. But picture this, right? If this is this triangular rectangular prism house is shooting up at you and we put it upwards, what's going to be the upward height of it? If you said 8, you're correct as well. Okay, that's going to be our height. All right, but the idea is we're trying to get an area out of this. So let's get to the next slide. So we already talked about this, but the base of our prism, it looks like we have two parts, right? We got a rectangle and we got a triangle. And then we got to label the dimensions of this. So again, blowing up from this previous one, we could take the face of that colored part, and we have here the rectangle. And then we also have the triangle, right? So there's two parts to it. We need to find the dimensions before we start finding the area of that. So the question comes is, okay, well, what's going to be the height? So remember, the height is probably going to be, or the height of the rectangle is probably going to be 7, all right? Because I'm using that image right over here, right over here, and I'm taking that face and trying to find the dimensions of it, right? And then the bottom part looks like it's 6. And then the triangle we have here, this should be 6 as well. And then I guess you can call the triangular height. Well, that's a matter of looking at this right over here on this bottom left, right? That's going to be my height. So if this part over here is 7 and this whole part is 11, so I know that this little portion I have, the little height of the triangle, should be 11 minus 7. Okay, it's the bigger part, which is 11. We take away the rectangular part, which is 7, right? And that gives us, what was it, 4, 6. Is that 6? I don't know what 11 minus 7 anymore is. That's 4. Okay, so that height is 4. So now that we have those dimensions, we can find the base area of it, right? So again, those are measurements there where we had 7 there, and then we had 6 and 4 there. Okay, well, remember area, we're going to have two areas, right? We have the area of the rectangle plus the area of the triangle. Okay, so remember the area of a rectangle is going to be your base times height. So this is equal to your base times height plus 1/2 the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle. And that should give us 7 times 6 plus 1/2 times 6 times 4, right? Okay, and those should be in parentheses. So we do the math there. We get 42 plus, let's see, 1/2 of 6 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. So we should have, that should be 12, right? So then our area, our base area, that's going to be 54, all right? So this whole part, all of this right here, is going to be 54, right? You add the red and the green, put it together, our base area is 54. The final question is, well, how do you use the area of the calculus, or how do you use the area of the base to calculate the volume of the figure? What is the volume of the prism? So remember, volume, that is equal to the base area. So the base area times your height. Okay? Remember what we said back then, what our height was? If my area, my base area is going to be here, right here, we need to understand what our height is going to be. That goes back to this picture again, right? Notice how in blue over there I said the height is 8 because I took the house and I put it upwards, right? So now the volume of the prism, I know my height to be 8. So then now it's easy. So the volume, that is equal to your base area, which is 54, times your height. What does that give us? Yeah, use my calculator. 54 times 8 is 432. 432 units to the third power. Okay, that means volume, units to the third power. So it's 432. All right. So in summary, what we did was we found the base area by taking the face of this situation, the face of this this house prism, right? Because remember, a prism is when the bottom matches with the top, kind of when you move it up, or the bottom face matches the top face. And we found that was 54. And then we found the height, which was right here, and that's your height. Okay? So again, when the base is not a rectangle or a triangle, some methods to find, what are some methods to find the area? Well, again, the idea is back here we had just the pentagon shape, right? Or not the pentagon shape, but this shape right here. And we weren't really able to really get the area of that. But the idea is if you cut it up into pieces of triangles and rectangles, right? You cut up the triangles and rectangles, you could find the base area. Okay? So that's what we did. We calculated the volume of a prism with a complicated base by decomposing or breaking it down to triangles and rectangles. Before I stop this video, I'm also going to do a cool down problem. This is going to be the learning activity as well connected to this. All right? So the cool down here says, here's a prism with a pentagonal base. The height is 8. So that's going to be helpful for me. That height is 8. I'm going to keep that right there. So I need to find the volume of this prism. So remember, volume of the prism is I'll say V for volume, is going to be the area, or the base area, times my height. I know my height is 8, right? This is my height right here. I need to find the base area. Well, first I need to find the base of the prism. Is it going to be the flat part of this, or is it going to be the face and looking at us? If you said it was the face looking at us, you are correct. It's going to be in red. This right here is what's going to matter. All right. So I'm going to take that image because back here, right, this is the back of it and it matches as well. So I'm going to take that image, do a rough sketch of it. So we said that this was 2, this was 3, 5, and 7. So I need to find the area of that. The best way to find the area of that is to cut it up into pieces. So there's a piece, and there's a piece. I have there 2 rectangles and 1 triangle. So with those 2 rectangles and 1 triangle, well, I could find the area of this part, right? This is the area here. That's just going to be 5 times 3. What's weird, though, is this other part. Okay, I need to find the area of this bottom right rectangle. Well, that side is going to be 2 for sure, but down here has to be 7 minus 3, right? Why is it 7 minus 3? Because you get this whole side or whole base at 7, but you have that little part on the top left part, that's 3, right? So 7 minus 3, so this therefore has to be 4, and I know this is 2 times 4, okay? So if this so now with the triangle, we have the base of 4. We need to find the height. Because that side over there is 5, and the other part's 2. 5 minus 2 is going to give me 3. Okay? So the idea is this area right here has to be 1/2 4 times 4 times 3. Okay? So we'll put all these pieces together. So I know my volume is going to equal the 5 times 3 plus the 2 times 4 plus the 1/2 times 4 times 3, and then times my height, right? My height is 8. Okay, so I can break this up again. I can see that, 5 times 3 is 15, plus 8, plus 1/2 of 4 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. And I have to times that by 8. We're almost done. We're going to do one last step, 2 more steps. So 15 plus 8 plus 6, that's going to give you, let's see, 8 plus 6 is 14. That's going to give you 29 times 8. And so therefore, my answer of this volume has to be 232. So 232 centimeters to the 3rd power. So that is my volume. Okay. Other than that, that's it for the lesson, students. I hope you'll have a great time doing these. Please come to my office hours if you need it. I am available for you. And besides that, I think that's going to be the last lesson for this week. And we'll just spend some time catching up, and maybe I'll do another video to review the learning activity problems, all right? So please leave a comment what you learned. Glad you're here and watching this video. Take care.